All right, and here we are. As you can see, we're kind of tag teaming today. You guys, welcome to the Get Shit Done webinar. Now, I couldn't really say that on social media, because stuff, so I had to kind of abbreviate it. But I'm really excited today, you guys, because we wanted to really talk about what we have in the way of our time. And a lot of times we get focused on other stuff. We get focused on things that aren't really serving us. And as they say, the biggest repository of unfulfilled dreams is the graveyard. How much of those people who didn't get the time to really make the things they wanted happen? So we're going to talk about everything today. We're going to talk about time management, what you need to stay motivated, how you need to basically get things done to organize things in your life so you can make things happen. A lot of people think it's multitasking. That's actually counterproductive, because I'm doing this, I'm doing that and everything, but you're not doing it effectively. And we're going to talk about that today. So my co-host, my wonderful wife, Bernadette, is over another part. You probably can't see her right now. I'm going to bring her on. But you guys, I just want to open it up and welcome you to this Get Shit Done webinar because we are uniquely focused. We have learned over the years what not to do and what to do. So you're going to be able to learn from our mistakes. So without further ado, let me bring Bernadette on.
Hey there. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Was that the T-Mobile thing? Okay, so I'm excited about being here today, and I'm excited about what we're trying to do, which is really help people get SHIT done. Okay, I got to filter for myself. I just got to be me. But I just want to say that, David is excellent in sharing with people that, if we don't take the steps that we need to take to fulfill our dreams, they can go unfulfilled. And that's what we don't want. We want to impact not only ourselves and the people whom we love, but we want to impact this world. We want to leave a legacy. So, we're going to talk about time management. We're going to talk about procrastination. And we're really going to be talking about mind shifting because really when it comes down to it, man, mindset is everything. And that touches on how you can be successful with executing on things to help you with time management, executing with things to help you overcome procrastination, right? Digging deep, swimming upriver to find out what are the reasons that we're in this place of not getting things done. And so I'm gonna hit it back over to David because he's gonna introduce about how we're gonna move this forward into getting things done.
All right, you guys. So as she said, we're going to basically start off with time management. We're going to talk about different tools and resources that you're going to be able to get now. If you guys were able to get your bundles, a lot of the stuff we're going to be addressing here are already in your bundles. So we're going to touch on different topics, but there's so much more in your time management, your organization, your procrastination, there's so much stuff in the bundles, as you guys already know, because if you registered, you saw what we were going to be talking about. So I want to start off with time management. We're going to throw it back to Bernadette. I'm going to bring up her screen and let's go because we ain't got time to waste.
Okay, so time management, I tell you, what I've found in my life working in corporate and even transitioning into becoming an entrepreneur is that time management really comes with planning. It comes with understanding that one, first, mindset, two, I can do it. There are people that accomplish a lot in 24 hours and I can do just what somebody else can do. And if I put my mind to it. And so when it comes to time management, first of all, it's understanding that I have enough time. I have enough time in the day to do the things that I need to do. But first, I need to just look to see what are the things that I should do. What is going to bring me the most benefit and value to my day? What are the things that I know needs to happen? Now, if you're an employee and you work for someone, that's kind of delegated for you. You know that my job is to produce reports. My job is to manage a team. My job is to look at projects and see them move forward and hit certain milestones. And from those milestones, be able to really understand that, hey, was something that we were supposed to accomplish before that milestone hit? And did it meet its target? Did we do it effectively? Did it give us the return that we were looking for it to give us? And did we actually accomplish it in a way where we didn't go over budget? And for people who are project managers, people who basically do anything that for a company, you understand that if you don't do things on time and if you don't manage your time effectively, you're costing the company money. And some people, I had a boss once. He said, people don't get fired. People fire themselves. You fire yourselves when you choose not to do your job and you choose not to do it in a timely manner, because the businesses understand, especially successful businesses, that if you don't take the time to understand how a job is done, what are the components of that job, what are the resources that are needed for that job, then when you direct and hire someone to do it, they're not going to be able to do it in the time that you need it done. So that goes the same with you. If you are a business owner, an entrepreneur, you have to look at it as a business. You have to say, okay, what is the purpose of certain tasks? And what is going to be needed for that task? What is the planning for that task, right? So I'm going to go. David's still okay.
Your screen, because we got 15 minutes per topic. So.
Oh my goodness, we just 3 minutes in and he's on me.
Okay. Time. You ain't got time for that.
Wow. So I'm gonna forgive him. I'm gonna forgive David for just coming in here and messing up my talk. And we're just gonna talk about and because I was talking about time management, just so you know, folks. Okay, so we're going to talk about some techniques. So I'm going to give you about 3 or 4 techniques for time management, and I'm going to talk about them because if you just tell somebody something, just like a job, if they just tell somebody to do this and they don't really equip them or help educate them on why and how and what they should expect, then it's not going to really work well. So first of all, with the time management, we're going to talk about like setting buffer zones, right? And buffer zones is when you look at your day and you plan out your day. A lot of people will plan out their day the night before, or they're planning out their day in the morning, and they'll say, okay, I'm going to do this from this time to this time. I'm going to do this from this time to that time. You're creating buffer zones to say, I have 30 minutes to do this. I'm giving myself an hour to do this, right? So I'm just going to go and pull up the screen. Okay, Dave, you can go to the one screen because we're on the time management presentation I put together here. And it's a really simple presentation, but I just want to it just helps me move things along. So when it comes to time blocking with buffer zones, we understand that there is a schedule that you put together. And you basically will tell yourself, okay, the first thing I do is I check my emails in the morning because I need to know if there's anything urgent I need to respond to. And this is going to be different for everyone. But you look to say, what are the things that you know in the morning that you need to take care of first? What are the things that are the things that you should be taking care of next? And then what are the big projects that you have? And where are you in those projects to getting things done? So that's kind of an idea of how you map out your day. We all know that social media is important. And we all know that you have to answer your phone sometimes, and there are things that you're going to have to do where you're going to be interrupted. You want to be able to find how you can manage those interruptions. And then when you have these buffer zones where you can say, focus work, I'm going to have this amount of time to do this. I'm not going to allow myself to get too distracted. Then you're able to move through your tasks. So, give yourself 25 minutes of work, or give yourself 30 minutes of work, right? And then after each one, give yourself like a 5-minute break so that you can refocus. Okay, I was working on this task. Maybe I didn't complete it, but I at least started this task. I gave myself this amount of time to get something done. Now I'm learning too how long it takes for me to get something done. The first thing right now, guys, is we're building in a muscle habit for managing our time, saying this is how much time we're going to do it. And we are holding ourselves accountable to our schedule. So, hey, I gave myself an hour to do this. I have 10 things that I know need to get done. If I go and give myself another hour to try and finish it up, it's going to mess me up. So I am creating in myself some type of accountability to say, I said I was going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm moving to the next task, right? And before I move to the next task, I'm giving myself a little break, a mental break, right? So that's one of the techniques we have, is that buffer zones, right? So the next one, and David's okay, as people get tired of a screen, you can turn back to me so that they understand, hey, it's about connection too. It's about being able to relate to people. Like, how you going to relate to words on the screen? I don't know. But I just want to let you know that these are techniques that I myself have found tremendous success, because as a business owner, I am doing, if I think of all of the things that I have to do, it can make my mind spin. But I know that there are certain tasks that I know I need to have done for today. There's certain tasks that can wait for 2 days down, but I know that I can start. So by that 2 days down, I will have completed it. You hear me? It's maybe a task that takes 12 hours. But if I know I've had allotted 4 hours each day, by that third day that I need to have it done, that additional 4 hours that I needed, it's done. Okay. So the next technique, and now you can move back to the screen, is we're going to talk about the 2-minute rule. Okay. Uh-oh. Let me clear that. I didn't mean to write on the screen. Well, I can. Oh, I don't want to do that. 2-minute rule. Okay. You see that 2-minute rule? So if there's a task that takes 2 minutes or less, do it immediately, right? And sometimes you'll look to say that, it's looking at my emails or it's looking at my social media posts. And I'm going to be real with you guys. You can turn it back to the screen to me, David. When it comes to posting, when it comes to checking email, the only way it's going to fall in that 2-minute rule is if first you have it planned out. Okay. Now, emails, I know it's not going to be 2 minutes, but I do know if I checked my email the first hour, I know that there are okay, I'm going to respond to this later. I already have those things that I know I'm going to respond to. And then I have already kind of planned out my day to say, these are the emails I'm going to respond to. I just need this bit of information. So when it comes time, I can knock those things out. Okay. They just asked for me to make sure, confirm I got it quick. So those emails that I know is a quick 2-minute response, I can respond to right away. Those, if I know that I have to respond to a social media post that I put out the day before, just to check the engagement and or answer a question, those are 2-minute responses. Okay, let me go check that post that I put out yesterday because I know it was something that I took a lot of time to really try and help resonate with someone. And so let me just check it and look at the comments and see if I can respond. Those are 2-minute tasks. Okay, so understanding what falls into that 2-minute task categories, and then being able to say, okay, I'm going to get these things done first. Okay, you can go back to the screen. So next we're going to talk about is digital detoxing, because social media it's great. It's great for us to engage with people, but my goodness, there's a lot of interesting stuff on social media. It's like TV when we were young, and it's like constant engagement, right? And so when you're looking at social media, you almost have to just say, let me just help myself get away from it. And if you have a real problem with getting away from social media, like I'll go on social media, I'll go on Facebook, right? And I'm going just to check a post that I put up just to see if there's been any questions or a response, or I know that I did a flyer for someone, I need to put it up there. 30, 45 minutes, sometimes an hour later, I just scrolled and scrolled. I was like, that was a 2-minute task. I wasn't supposed to be on there that long, but I didn't have anything to keep me focused. And if I've done that enough to where it really begins to be a problem, then I say, okay, there's nothing wrong with seeking help, right? There are so many tools at our fingertips. there's something called Stay Focused, where you can add it. It's like a Google Chrome or even a Microsoft Edge extension, where it will block websites that like, okay, I know that I have to focus on these tasks and and then none of these tasks involve Facebook. So I am blocking it during my stay focused time so that if I go to it, it's not even going to be available. So if you even have to put yourself on punishment, there are apps that put you on punishment. Freedom is another app. And if you have it in the block, so there's some sites you can allow, but if you have it on the block list and you go to Facebook when you're not supposed to be in Facebook, a nice green screen will come up. Not the blue screen of death or the green screen of death. A green screen, like maybe a leaf or butterfly or something that helps you be calm or understand, hey, I'm freeing myself from the detox, the toxic social media that can use up my time. Remember, we're talking about time management and we're talking about techniques. And sometimes those techniques are helping protect you against yourself and bad habits, which can be from overuse of screen time with social media. Next, I'm gonna move on to our last technique for kind of helping to engage with better time management. And you can go to the screen now, David. It is the Eisenhower box. It's like a priority matrix, right? And I have an example on here too, because this helps you as you're planning to understand what's urgent, what is urgent and important, what's not really important, but it's something I still want to get done. And first, we got to do the stuff that's urgent. These are tasks that like you started 2 days ago, but today is the deadline. So you really need to make sure it gets done and that you stay focused so that it's completed. These are the tasks where you know that if you are going to keep on schedule for a project that has to be ready by the end of the month, you can't keep pushing it off, right? So these are the urgent tasks that you need to respond to. It depends sometimes too, say you're a realtor, right? And that's constant engagement with people because things can move quickly or they can move slowly. And it's hard for you to plan on how you'll need to respond. But you know that, okay, today this came up and it's urgent, I got to handle it. So some things you can plan for those urgencies, sometimes you can't. But that priority box is for looking to say, for today, what is urgent? What is important? What are the things that are not as important that I still want to get done, and just prioritize them. And even with the allotment of time that you have for it as well. Okay, normally I give myself an hour to do this, but because I know this is something that has to get done, I'm going to give myself 2.5 hours to get it done. If I get done sooner, great. Celebrate, baby, right? But if I needed more time, I'm still being accountable, keeping myself on task. I'm still doing what I need to do to create order in my life for how I manage my time so that I can only improve and get better. So that's what we have for time management. We do have several bits of more information in the bundle. There's books we have, and we have another video on time management, because it really comes to kind of conditioning yourself to hold yourself accountable and to do some of the small steps that you need to do in order to be effective with your time management. Because sometimes it's not just about saying, okay, I'm going to plan my day and then it's just going to happen. No, you got to understand, well, how best does it work for me to plan it out? So I'm going to move over to David, because that's what we have for time management. And David, if you have something to add, please do so. But we want to keep things moving because we are at a time limit today. So.
All right. Well, that was incredible. That's really great. She's doing a great job, you guys. Let's give her a hand. So I would think, because I think another thing is, we talk about time, we talk about procrastination. I am the biggest procrastinator, and I'm going to be honest, just being transparent here. My wife is giving me, and you guys can see, it's literally like, you see those yellow notepads? She will give me a list of things to do. Like most husbands have honey-do lists. My list is like, You got to make sure you update the schedule. Let's make sure that you're doing a post on social media. I have all this stuff I have to do for the network, for our social media, and then of course for clients. And then what happens is I have BSO syndrome, right? Which you guys might have seen that. That's a acronym that I use called bright, shiny objects. How many of you guys have suffered from BSO syndrome? Where it's like, and I go, for example, when it talks about productivity, they say if you listen to music, you tend to be about 15 to 20% more productive. That's why in some workplaces there'll be music playing because it helps people relax, helps them calm down and things like that. Well, I'll go to put my Amazon music on, and then Amazon pops up with this movie that's on my Amazon Prime. And I'll be like, oh, I'm just gonna watch the trailer, just real quick. And I'll go to watch the trailer. Next thing I know, I'm 30 minutes into watching the movie. Wait, what was I supposed to be doing? Oh, and of course, then all of a sudden I get defensive. I'm like, I know it's on my list. I know, right? And it was my fault because I got BSO, bright, shiny objects. Or sometimes somebody might call and they go, oh, can you just do this for me real quick? And I go, yeah, I can do it real quick. And 3 hours later, I'm working on that. And I didn't do anything on my to-do list. And I go, it's okay. I'm just going to roll it back over into tomorrow. Now, we usually get up at about 5:30, 6 a.m. And I know for some of y'all, probably be like, that late, right? But we don't go to bed till about 11 o'clock. So as entrepreneurs, as you know, you're putting in more than an 8-hour work week. Sometimes you're putting in more than a 12-hour work day, You're putting in more of a 12-hour work day because if we don't produce, we don't eat. So, I think one of the things that we really need to make sure that we do is to really show that, oh, Felicia, yes, Felicia, you're great. And so, if I'm stepping into your bedroom, just let me know, right? So one of the things we want to make sure is that we set those parameters, like Bernard said, time management is key, but also realizing sometimes to set boundaries where people come in and there's an old saying, a poor planning on another person's part does not constitute an emergency on yours. And I've got that over and over again. And I'm going to be honest, sometimes they go, look, man, you do this real quick, I'll throw a couple extra dollars in there. I could do it real quick. And then they give me this load of stuff they knew wasn't going to be real quick. But because now I've committed to doing it and because I want to get the money, I'm like, well, I'm looking at it like I'm trying to justify being penny wise and pound foolish. Like, well, that wasn't going to bring money in until next week, but this will bring money in right now. But then I get a bunch of little small things, so now I can't focus on the big thing that's going to bring in more money because I'm worried about taking the little penny stuff because it's right now, but it's stopping me from my overall vision. I think as business owners, as entrepreneurs, we all get that, and we got to watch out for that. You got to set boundaries. And even now, and sometimes people, and I'm just saying this because when they know you, they tend to think, oh, well, I know him. I'll just go on and he'll be cool. I'll just go and pay him later. But they won't pay other businesses later. That's another thing too, that kind of will decrease our self-esteem. We're going to be talking about that. And is also going to demotivate us when it comes to doing the things we need to do. So I had to tell people when they ask for something, I go, great, man, we can definitely do that. I can have it done in this time. So I'm setting expectations. I'm setting limits with myself as well to say, you've got to do this. You can't go and do your BSO, your bright, shiny object things, because you got to have this back in a certain time. And then I send them a link.
I just want to remind you that we're going to be talking about procrastination now.
Oh, so now she's telling me, but thank you so much.
Are you procrastinating? I'm getting to the procrastination.
And I thank you so much for that. Thank you for keeping me on track. Right? So I say now, I'm just saying that when somebody gives us a job, I go, great, this is great. I give them a time frame, it's going to be delivered in, and I send them an invoice. And I don't get started until I see the invoice is paid. And I've had a few people going, oh, wait a minute, I'm good for it. Okay, I shouldn't say all that. I'm good for it. So the demeanor of some people I've had to deal with in that realm, right, who basically want to pay you later. It's like Wendy, I'm dating myself. I'll pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today kind of thing. So I've had people go, well, I'm just going to go to Fiverr. Bet. Because guess what? I went to Fiverr and they made me pay up front. And then they come back, well, I'm going to go and do it with you because I like what y'all doing. I like your work. Yeah. No, you went on, you looked, you saw the prices, you knew what we did, but I digress. But I'm saying set boundaries and things like that. So I think I've taken my time.
Oh yeah, you were supposed to introduce procrastination.
Well, was I procrastinating? So procrastination. You see how I go off on other things.
And now you giving the camera big hands.
I'm just gonna go and throw it back to Burnett now.
Listen, I know David is a lot more interesting than me. I'm pretty beige, but we have an hour. We only have an hour, guys, and we got to get SHIT done. And that includes this webinar. That includes making sure that we're giving you what we said we would, which is some techniques and some hacks and just really some like direction on how to get stuff done. And we know that the things that blocks us from getting things done is 1, time management, 2, procrastination, and 3, we know it's mindset. Man, me and David say mindset is everything, right? But we're talking about procrastination now. And we sometimes, with procrastination, when you really dig deep, sometimes it comes from fear that you just don't really understand what that outcome will be. And sometimes it's easier just to kind of put it off because you're not sure, do you have everything you need to get it done? Is it going to be done right if you do it right now? Is there something more that you should be waiting on? Maybe there's another person who you're hoping to get some information from, or another tool that you're able to try and get in order to make it look or feel or do or be better. So we procrastinate, but we can't do that. David tells me a lot of times, he says, when I get overwhelmed with all of the stuff I have on my list and I haven't taken the time to get something done, he says, listen, how do you eat an elephant? You eat it one bite at a time. And so when I look at procrastination, and I'm going to pull it up on the screen here, David. So, for some reason, let me try and pull it up on the screen. We need to open it up. The procrastination. If you can open it up for me, because I don't have it open.
You actually go out of that slide and just go back. So I'll just throw it to me.
Okay.
Hey there, you guys. So while Brendan's kind of figuring that out, she's just going to go, if you just go out of that slide, just go down to the bottom. Remember down right there, the arrow right there, the far right there, the arrow. There you go. Brings you up, then you can open the thing.
Okay.
So you guys see, I am the guy. I'm the technical guy. So if it wasn't, but yes. All right, we're fixed. We're good.
We're good.
All right. Good. Should I throw to your screen or throw to you?
You can throw the screen up.
All right, here we go.
So guys, don't be a part of the procrastination. There are some folks out there in the procrastination. All right. You don't want to be a part of that. And there are ways for you to overcome it, jump over it, and get SHIT done. So I'm going to start with the 5-minute rule. Okay, guys, listen, starting sometimes is the biggest. You can pull it back to me. Starting sometimes is the biggest thing with getting something done when it comes to procrastination. And usually these are projects. We procrastinate on projects. We procrastinate on papers that we may have to write and submit. We procrastinate on things that we know may take a lot of time. They're big. We just don't understand, like, how am I going to get it all done? First, you do have to break it into chunks. Break it into bite-sized chunks. And one of the first things you can do is, I'm going to take 5 minutes just to break out this project into 5 chunks, right? You take that 5 minutes to break it out into 5 chunks. And the reason I say 5 minutes, 5 chunks is because we can give ourselves 5 minutes. We can easily say, it's just going to take I'm going to take 5 minutes. I'm going to put my timer on 5 minutes. And I'm just going to look at this and say, how can I break it into 5 chunks? Meaning, okay, I have this project. It's huge. I have an event that I need to put on. So one of the things I know I need to do is, where am I going to have the event? I need to understand who I'm going to target to attend this event. I understand I need to figure out what is it that I'm going to present to people during this event. I need to look out how I'm going to engage with people during the event. Like, what is that expectation? And then 5, how am I going to look to use that event to continue to engage with people afterwards? So I've now taken 5 minutes to break out into 5 different chunks, 5 things and areas I need to work on in order to move that event from something that's just been procrastinated, I've been procrastinating on, to something that actually can be real, right? Now, that those 5 chunks, those are huge chunks in themselves, right? But you started. You took 5 minutes and you committed to working on a task within that project for just 5 minutes. You know, the hardest part, like I said, is starting. So you can go back onto the screen, David, because that hack when you starting is you just have to tell yourself 5 minutes. There's some resistance we have, that initial resistance to getting something done. But once you start it, you're good. It really is something that will take you to the next step. I really look for people to try this out. You can take it back to me, David. Try this out. Honestly, it will help you get over that step of procrastinating with something. And then once you do that and you start to understand that, hey, this is working for me, I have actually moved forward on this, you'll find that you'll procrastinate less and less as you do more and more. Now, it's not just starting. Now you have to do more than just start, right? Because even when you are creating something, you have to kind of visualize and see, what is it that this is going to do? Sometimes the procrastination part is, I want to do this, but we don't take the time to invest in how do we see it being done? How do we see the end result? You know, and it's positive. Sometimes the fear of it not turning out right is what stops us from doing it. So we have to focus on what is going to be great if I do it, right? So go back to the screen here, David. And so the next step with understanding how to get over it, overcoming procrastination, getting out of the procrastination, is visualization and positive outcomes. Visualize what it is that you're doing with this. Whatever it is you're procrastinating, visualize on what it really looks like. If it's an event, visualize yourself at the event. If it's a book, visualize the book being in a bookstore or you handing it to someone. That positive outcome. So the successful completion of the task and the positive outcome. You can spend that 5 minutes, 5 chunks, and then the next time you start again, another 5 minutes, choose one of those 5 chunks and spend 5 minutes from that 5 chunks. Start breaking it up. Eat that elephant one bite at a time. This will help you to shift your focus from the fear of it not being right and positive anticipation from that task being done and how it's going to feel. It's rewarding when we're able to say that we did it. And this webinar is all about having you understand that you can and you will do what you need to do to be successful. Like David said, we want our dreams to be fulfilled. There are people in this world that we have to impact with our dreams. It's not about us. Okay. The next one is breaking the task into manageable chunks. Now, we talked about the 5 minute, 5 chunks, but those chunks really comes to you looking to say, what are these tasks? And if the task seems large, take the time to plan out how to make it smaller. That's something you put in your planner for that day. Okay, I'm gonna take an hour and I'm gonna divide this task that I broke from my chunk. I break this chunk and I'm gonna break it into the task that's needed for me to accomplish it. That helps to make it manageable. You can create a checklist of all these steps, and it's going to lead to the completion of the overall task. It's going to lead to the completion of the actual project or whatever it was that you were procrastinating on getting done. So each small accomplishment builds momentum and reduces the overwhelming feeling that you may have that can be associated with getting big projects done or getting things done, getting SHIT done, right? Next, you guys, we got to set clear and realistic goals. Okay, so that too comes with you understanding how well you work and how long it takes for you to do things. Once you start mapping out your day and you say, I'm gonna take an hour to respond to all of my emails for the day, and you look and you start that process and you go day after day and you give yourself that hour and you realize that, hey, it's really taking me 30 minutes. Now you're understanding, hey, it only takes me 30 minutes to respond to emails. So you're becoming aware of your capabilities. You're becoming aware of what resources you have at your fingertips to get things done quicker and quicker, so that you can plan out your day and manage it properly and understand how you can set clear and realistic goals for yourself. There's something called SMART. It's called specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. You got to be specific about what it is that you're doing. You got to understand, if I'm doing it, what is it supposed to accomplish? What am I getting from it? It needs to be measurable and achievable. Like, can you do it, or do you need help? Understand that sometimes it's okay to go outside to get something done. You know, it's sometimes I love what David says to me. He'll say it often. He'll say, it's not what we can do, it's what the world can do, right? You can't limit yourself to just what you can do if you really want to impact the world. You know, Henry Ford didn't build cars. Henry Ford didn't know how to build cars. All he knew was that the world could build cars. He could bring in engineers. They could build cars. He knew what he wanted an engine to do and be. And he told the engineers, this is what I wanted to do and be, figure it out, right? When you have these clear goals, and they'll help you with direction, and it'll make it easier for you to start and maintain progress with goals. So that's it for procrastination. We want to get out of procrastination, guys. And I'm going to hand it over to David for the next part of our presentation.
All right, you guys. Oh my God, I'm looking like a newbie. Hey, you guys. So thank you so much. I'm monitoring her audio. And you know what? Never mind. Look weird with the earphones. Anyway, we have one of our subject matter experts that's also going to be chiming in, Cherise Gilliam. She's one of our celebrity brand and subject matter experts. If you go to onstageplus.com, you can see her. She's a business strategist and coach. And when I told her about this, I asked her, I said, can you just give us a few tips on time management? And she was like, you know, I know you can teach a whole series on this, but I want her to come in because sometimes when we're talking about things, you know, we kind of give our viewpoint. When Brenda's talking about things, she gives her viewpoint and things like that. But we also need other people to kind of chime in with things that they feel are relevant and tips and hacks you can do. And I just want you guys to know too, that the personal development bundle, the mind growth bundle, the building better habits bundle, the motivational planner bundle, the audio series, the private Facebook group, and the Unleashing Your Greatness audio series, and the 5 ways to clear stress is included in the bundle that you can get in this course. I just want to put it out there, and it's incredible, you guys. It's over an $1,800 value. You should definitely get it because you need the tools. You wouldn't go to school without the books, right? You need the tools. And you can also make payments, I think as low as $25. You can make payments. But get it because it's something that's going to help you in your business and your life and just all around your relationships. All right, I'm going to bring on Miss Cherise Gilliam. All right. What's going on, Cherise? Uh-oh. Wait, I think we got her audio. Nope,
because you have the your audio set, right?
It's her audio. This is all live. We can't hear you. Let's see. I can't hear you. What is it? Let's see.
Can she hear it?
No, it's...
Ask the people. Ask anybody.
Can anybody hear Cherise? Can we hear her? You took all these days. It's, you know what? This is, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Where is it? Nope, nobody can hear you, Sharice, unfortunately. Well, maybe you come back out and come back in. You know, sometimes that works. My mother always told me, when things don't work, pull the plug. That's terrible. She worked as a nurse. But I want to say that let's see if she can go. You may have yourself muted, somebody saying, Luana, you may have yourself muted, Sharice. You muted? No? Let's see. Let's see if we can bring her back in here. No. You know, Sharice does live in a really, yeah, she lives in a really remote place. It may actually be just
It's
the
not
internet.
that remote.
I'm trying to help. Okay, so I want to say, you guys, what the heck is that? Did she just, what the heck? Okay, wait a minute. So I want to ask you guys, once again, when we talk about procrastination, what are we really looking at? Let's see if she's got that. I think she's back with us. Let's see if she's back here. Let's see. She's looking, she's stirring the pot, she's jumping around, might be her mic. You guys, like I said, this is really something
Well,
when
talk
things
a
are
little
right.
bit about what
Let's see.
Sharice offers too.
And Sharice, once again, is a business strategist and coach. And she's really multifaceted. And she's also the CEO of Digital Download Hubs. We have a lot of made-for-you templates that we have been able to partner with Sharice and get those from her. It's incredible. You know, we talk about being able to manage your time. Nowadays, guys, everything's on our phones.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now. This is great.
Okay, I went and got mine.
All right. So I was procrastinating and bringing this stuff in here. So let me bring her in. Sharice?
All right. Well, thank you. Hello. Well, welcome. Happy Saturday morning, everybody. Me and technology have not been friends. If you guys were with me last week and you watched my webinar, you'll know me, technology, and allergies. It just whatever. Okay. However, I don't feel so bad because at least I did not wipe out half the country this week with the internet outage, right? So at least I don't feel so bad there. I just had a little glitch. So I got my Yeti mic connected, and this is always my tried and true. It always works for me. Thank you, Yeti. Well, good morning, everybody. So, I want to add something to Bernadette's when I used to fly 5 to 6 days a week. It's very important you stay organized and you stay on top of tasks. And when I would go and do speeches, there was a book called Eat That Frog. And it's a little tiny, tiny book. And I would take it everywhere with me. And people who would have trouble getting organized and getting things done, I would give them a copy of that little book. And it really talks a lot about prioritizing your tasks, right? So the one thing that I found in all my years of doing business and traveling and speaking and coaching and everything was people are afraid to delegate. And when you, like Bernadette said, you break it down into 5 chunks. When you look at those 5 chunks that you've broken it down into, then what she was saying was you take that and you break that down even further, and then you begin to schedule those things out, right? What people do not look at doing is delegating those tasks. Now, listen, I'm a huge fan of delegation. My husband he has to remind me constantly, it's only he and I, so I can't delegate everything to him. Some things I have to do too, right? Because I'm like, can't you do that? You should do that. I'm putting that on your to-do list. And he's like, what's on your to-do list? I'm like, my to-do list says what you should be doing. I'm a huge fan of delegation, right? And really what happens is we think that we do not, if we delegate something, then we lose control of it. And you really don't. So there's a lot of things that I love my husband. He does all our laundry. But before I met him, I used to drop my laundry off every weekend to the laundry place. David will tell you, I believe in cleaning, people, because those people do things that I don't have time to do. And that frees me to do other things. Some things you delegate, you pay for. Some things you delegate, you don't. If you have a team Why are you running to the post office every week with a stack of boxes when you have an assistant that works for you? That should be their task so you could do more meaningful tasks, right? And I'm just using that as an example. But delegation is a huge piece of putting together a proper task list so that you can work on the high efficiency items and others can work on some of those low content, lower efficiency items. So I just wanted to add that into your 5 chunks. I love that. Break it down into 5 chunks, then separate those chunks out and think about what pieces of those tasks can you give to someone else to do, even if it's just a friend or a neighbor or whatever, right? Maybe there are other people who can do those tasks for you and you will still get them done. And then you just put them on your list to follow up with them and check in. Hey, how's this going? Hey, did you get the clothes folded? What day are my laundry going to be done? So then I can pick it up, take it home. And then the cleaning people can put it up in the closet and put it in the drawers, right? And you just pull it out and put it on. See what I'm saying? Using that as an example. You like that? Delegation.
That was great. I mean, but I've known Cherise for, oh my God, it must have been over like 17 years going now.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I first came over to her house to do a photo session. This is back when I was doing photography, Sicily. And I came in and there was people cleaning her house. And I was like, if you guys have ever seen the Jeffersons, when she said, when do we overcome? No, but I didn't get the memo. I was like, you got maids in your house? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, you must have some money. I didn't know I would say that. And she was like, well, when I look at what I would make and generate an hour by the work I do versus what I would lose in an hour having them do the work she said, it just makes more fiscal sense. And I've always taken that lesson and been like, wow. As Bernadette mentioned, a lot of times I forget. I'm like, oh God, can we do this? Can we do this? And she reminds me, it's not about what we can do. It's about what the world can do. And what that means is sometimes we get so focused on what we can provide, not realizing that sometimes we can delegate a task or we can find somebody else with a specialty to provide that task for us and still add value to ourselves and to a potential client. That's very important because a lot of times we get wrapped up in what, if we can't do it, it can't get done. No. Who do you know? Remember, there's an old saying, your network is your net worth.
Yes.
It's not always about what you got in the bank. It's about who you know in those relationships. We know a lot of situations where people have relationships and they were able to benefit because of those relationships. The most recent being LeBron James and his son. I'm not a big basketball fan, but from what I understand, I was talking to a friend of mine, his son was on the court and he did like 3 points in the game. And they was like, how is this man in the NBA? Because his father had the relationships to get him in there.
Well, I have another example, but I won't go there.
So I'm saying that to say sometimes we have to mind shift ourselves. Bringing on to the next segue, the mind shift segment. And I'm going to go on and throw it to Bernadette.
All right. Listen, guys, we have to stay on time. Time management. We gave our and we robotically do it. Sometimes the mind is what helps keeps us on task and focused to say, you have to do this because. And that because is the belief that it will lead to something that's beneficial to you. We don't just dream to dream. We dream because we are looking to something that we expect and would desire to happen. Right? And if you desire for something to happen, you can look with your mind and understand if it's realistic or not. There was a time when I dreamed that, man, it would be great if I could fly. I am never going to be able to fly unless I'm on a plane. or in a helicopter or something. But I know that there are things that I dream of achieving that can happen. And I know that the only way it's not going to happen is if I choose to quit, if I choose to stop, right? That's the only way. That's the mind shift I gave myself years ago. And it's a determination I've built inside myself to say, no matter what, I will not stop. And it's only benefited me. It's only benefited me. And I've never started something to where I've decided not to stop and it hasn't grown. It hasn't increased. Now, there are some times where we'll shift and we'll change. Okay, well, I don't think I want to do that. It's not leading where I would like for it to go. And we change our minds and we move. And there's nothing wrong with that. But understand that if you believe you can do something, you take the time to plan it out and look to see what are the steps you can do to do it. The mind and is what's going to keep you on track. So I'm going to move forward with the mind shift presentation, and that comes with the first thing, which is affirmations and positive self-talk. And I know that, and Dave, you can keep it on the screen for me just for a minute. Let me just tell you, we've been told this for years. We hear it all the time. And probably it's the last thing you want to hear, someone telling you in a webinar, I'm going to tell you something. And then they tell you something that I already know this. So look at it as confirmation. It's necessary. It is necessary. We understand that in order for us to do anything, it first begins with a thought. In order for us to continue to persevere when life's, okay, when it happens, when you get the calls you don't want to get, when you get the instances or feelings that you don't want to feel, when you have the support that someone close to you needs and you're not sure how to offer it and still maintain and do the things that you need to do. Sometimes I'll do it later, or I won't do this at all. I just have to focus on this, or I guess I wasn't meant for me to do. That's your mind telling you to stop. And you have to say, no matter what, I'm going to do this. And I'm going to do this because I know I can. And positive affirmations and self-talk is, and we can go to the screen, David, and so we could just talk about that if you still have it up. Okay, great. So, you have to reinforce what it is that you believe and know that you want to accomplish, who you are. So writing it down, it's like it gives muscle memory. So don't minimize writing things down. Every day you should write things down. If you write something down 3 times in the morning, 6 times in the middle of the day, and I just say I can achieve my goals. You write that down 3 times in the morning, right? I can achieve my goals. I can achieve my goals. I can achieve my goals. Lunchtime rolls around. You write it down 6 times. I can achieve my goals. I can achieve my goals. I can achieve my goals. Or I have achieved my goals, right? Those positive affirmations, it begins to work in your mind to really help you do just that. It all starts with the mind. David, I want to kick it over to you just a quick minute for you to talk about that experiment with what it is that we say and how it feels and how it can actually change molecules. So can you do that?
Absolutely. So you guys are trying to get this in here. You guys, she's talking about what's called the water molecule experiment. And you guys probably don't know my background. When I first got out of high school and went to college, my major was clinical psychology. And then I realized that, my professor, she told me, you're not going to make no money unless you get your PhD in it. And I was like, okay, well, I really like the topic. And then I looked at the suicide rates of psychologists. And so one thing led to another. So I did not pursue that line. But I loved behavior modification. And I mentioned that because one of the things that I learned many, many years ago was a thing called the water molecule experiment. Now, this is actually done by Professor, I think it was Yagashi. It was out of Japan. And what he did was, and his results have been studied and, of course, been reenacted and by other scientists around the world. But he got 2 glasses of water. Okay. To one glass, he spoke, "You are incredible. I love you. You are phenomenal. You are a go-getter. You are," all these positive affirmations. Into the other glass of water, he spoke, "You can't do it. Stupid, dummy. You never on time. You never accomplish this," all these negative things. Then they took a dropper of each water molecule and they looked at them under a microscope. The glass of water that he had spoke positivity into formed a crystal structure similar to what we see in a snowflake. They were beautiful. None matched the other. They were beautiful, literally. The molecules, water molecules, the structure within them. The glass of water that he spoke negatively into actually resembled cancerous cells. They were malformed. They were oblong. They were just, I mean, if I could show you I should have had the graphic, but they were really just contorted, right? And so many, many years, this was done probably over 20 years ago, many thousands of scientists have recreated his experiment and got the same results. So we say that to say, we know the human body is made up of what? 73% water. So when you talk to yourself and you do stuff like dummy, oh, stupid, what are you telling yourself? What are you speaking into yourself? There, not to get biblical, but there's an old saying, there's life and death in the power of the tongue. Those that speak it shall eat the fruit thereof. People, this shit is true. I remember when I was growing up, my mother, I'm from Buffalo, New York. And so I grew up around, cussers. I mean, they cuss like sailors. I think that's where they got the term from. And they would say little things like, "What, girl, I'll be damned." Meaning they couldn't believe it when she's talking to my auntie or her girlfriend and stuff like that. But when you break it down, "I'll be damned." You can understand stuff that we take for granted. We think, "Oh, it's nothing." The subconscious, brother, the subconscious hears that.
Okay, there's 3 minutes.
Yes, I know I'm running time, so she's just getting time. But it's really important, you guys, that you realize that you've got to speak life into yourself first. There's an old saying, and I always use it, you cannot give something to someone that was not first poured into you. You cannot love someone. You cannot guide someone into success. You cannot guide someone into believing they can be better than they are if not that was not first poured into you. That's one of the main reasons we do this, to pour into you. Because I tell you this, and I call it God or whatever name you call the person who created all of us in this universe. You cannot beat it. You cannot be God-giving. So when we're giving and we're doing this for you, it's because we know we're going to get it tenfold back. But I say that, speak life into yourself. Make sure you are always congratulating yourself. I still have a presentation to do. And so I'm sorry. So with that, I'm going to go back and throw it to Bernadette because she just said, "I still got my presentation." I'm sorry. I'm just passionate about mind shifting. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and throw it back to you. So here you go, Bernadette.
I'm going to tell you, listen, the reason David is so passionate about mind shifting is because we have literally done it, right? We have went from circumstances that were bleak, miserable, and with mindset, it allowed us to first believe, and it allowed us to create a muscle in us that was like a don't quit, execute. And so month after month, things improved, and to where now we're like, hey, we're here. And we still have even greater dreams to get to. And we're even more inspired that we know we can get to it. But first, we have to look to see who else can we help? Because we're not just getting here for ourselves. We're getting here for others. But let me just go on, and I'm going to go to the one screen because we have a little bit of time to try and get through this. And first of all, you have to understand about visualization and how mindset and mind shifting your mind really comes with visualization. So if you can pull up the screen, David, that way they can see the screen too. You visualize yourself successfully completing your goals. Spend a few minutes each day just picturing yourself achieving your dreams. What does it feel like What does it look like? Where are you when you've achieved your dreams? That big house that you wanted, what are you doing? See yourself walking in the kitchen, opening up the refrigerator, pulling out a nice, beautiful, cool bottle of water, and then drinking and setting it down and taking a nice exhale. You know, I'm here, I did it. Or if it's at an event that you did, and you're looking out to the crowd of people that are clapping, that are smiling, because you were able to successfully bring a lot of people together and bring great value to them. What does that look like? Picture yourself achieving it. Imagine that process, the steps you took, the success you feel. That mental rehearsal will strengthen your belief in your ability to succeed. Now, in order to do that, what we need is a growth mindset. That growth mindset is something that you have to know that I can. There's a lot of people out there that'll say, I'm not creative, or I'm not this, I'm not. You got to know that if there's anything you put your mind to, that you can do, right? And that's a growth mindset. You got to embrace challenges, view failures as opportunities to learn. There's a book I love that I read. It was called Failing Forward. It's not looking at failures as failures, but looking at failures as those opportunities to learn, grow, and do better from. So adopt that mindset so you can focus on the learning and growing and being persistent in achieving and believing your dreams can come true. You know, have that persistence instead of something that feels like, oh, well, it's something I can't do. I'm not creative, or I'm not this, I'm not. We can't use the word not. We have to focus on what you can and what you will do. And you have to remind yourself of that every time you experience any type of setback that you can actually achieve. And next is to set milestones and celebrate your successes. Listen, you guys, when you achieve something, don't minimize it. Don't just say, okay, next thing. Take time to celebrate it, because life is about moments. It's about recognizing and taking each moment in. And when you are able to celebrate those moments and feel good about it, it helps you to continue to feel good about what you're going to do next time. So first, you have to have some achievements. You got to get some wins under you, right? One of the things with my time management is I have these to-do lists, right? And I love crossing it out. Oh, I did that. There's sometimes where it, like at the end of the day, I've been so busy, I wasn't even had a time to cross it out. But then I'll go back to that list and cross it. I did that. That's how I celebrate. It's a little win. I celebrate that I executed, because I know if I continue to execute, that's getting SHIT done. And I know if my plan is, if I do this, and this is how I'm going to impact the world. This is how I'm going to create legacy for myself and my family. And I'm going to make an impact. I'm going to make a difference, right? I think that's what a lot of us want, is to be able to make a difference. And first of all, we have to believe that we can. And that comes with making sure that we shift our mind. And I'm just going to kick it over to David so he can just kind of recap and we close out, because we've actually went over.
Well, you guys, thank you so much. We really wanted to make sure we were cognizant of your time, okay? And we didn't, cause you guys to procrastinate. And we actually helped you guys shift your mind, okay? Did I touch on all those things? Did I do it? So, you guys, you can see in the bottom of the screen here, if you guys want, you can always text me. Most of you guys got the link because you guys, I sent it to you personally, or you saw it on social media. But I wanted to also make sure that I put in, let's see, it's very important, because somebody was asking me, well, David, there you go. That link right there, that QR code, if you want to scan that if your phone, depending on what device you're watching, you can scan that. It will take you to your Mindshift Super Bundle. And there's so much, guys, because in addition to getting everything we talked about here, you're going to get the planners, the workshops,
They'll also
the
get a
worksheets.
super fan membership.
And you get a super fan membership to our subject matter experts platform, OnStage Plus. If you guys go to onstageplus.com and see that, you go see like, wait a minute, I also get that. You also get access to the exclusive success-driven community where you can talk with other like-minded, success-driven individuals and get the support you need to be successful. That's really important.
You got to go to onstageplus.com.
And you got to go to onstageplus.com.
Because if you're going to level up in life,
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna throw it to Bernadette because
Thank
she's
you.
over there.
Thank you. Listen, if you get anything from this, make sure you go to onstageplus.com. Join the web app. It's a free membership, and then you can engage as a super fan as you look and get to learn more about what we have available, or do it with you. Just get the bundle. You get a super fan membership right there. Not only will it allow you to get access to a lot of these subject matter experts we have to learn about different industries, but to also take advantage of people who have years and years of experience, who have really contributed to an industry and are experts, and they can help guide you. It's not about what you can do, it's about what the world can do, right? And we know we need the world in order for us to accomplish and reach our dreams. So we've like vetted people, and these subject matter experts that are on the network, on the onstageplus.com web app, they have material, they have information, and then you can also connect with them directly and really level up even further, because you want to create good habits. Michael Wynn, you want to be able to connect with people to learn about finance. You want to be able to connect with people to learn about how you can get government grants. You want to learn how to understand how to use digital products, and then what digital products can be available to you in order to have passive income. You want to understand about goodness, emotional intelligence. Hello. You want to understand how to level up in your mental health, how to really understand what does that look like, and what practices that you should be trying to engage in to make that happen for yourself. We have a mind shift booklet in there, don't we, David?
Yes.
It's incredible. Even if you just went to there and you downloaded that mind shift planner book and just start doing those tasks, you're on your way. And that's what we're here to impact people, to help be on their way to execute and really get SHIT done.
All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want to thank you guys for taking the time out of your day, because time is the most valuable resource we have. People always say time is money. That's an insult to time, because let me tell you, you can generate more money, but you cannot generate more time. So thank you guys so much. I hope that we've been impactful. I hope we've really given you guys tools and a pathway and a roadmap to doing what you guys need to do to fulfill your dreams and to take the next step in your life and your journey. Thank you so much for taking the time with us today, and we'll be seeing you soon. And as always, we're just a call or text away if you need anything. You guys take care.
Thank you, and have a wonderful day every week. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Goodbye.
All right, Sharice. Thank you, guys.